Good morning, welcome, hi everybody. My name is Chrissy and today I'm going to be giving you a channel prediction reading for the 4th of May. Now I'm just going to close my eyes and we'll get started and we'll just see what comes through. Now they're showing me that the birds are circling. So when I'm thinking of birds circling, it's kind of like they're above their prey. So it's almost like, it could be like eagles, it could be hawks, it could be something of that nature where they're ready to bounce on their prey. And it's showing me like a carcass. Like here in Australia, we often find there's a lot of kangaroos and things that get hit and wombats that are on the roads. And you'll often see like crows and a heap of birds. Like obviously that's how they survive. But I'm getting this circling of the birds above. The prey is like already dead, but they're circling, so they're checking to see if it's safe to come down and start to feed on obviously the flesh of the dead animal. And that's kind of the vision I'm getting, and to me that's that sort of it's like assessing the situation, but they're also ready to pounce. So that's what I'm getting. They're if we think of it, and I talk about that a lot, they're seeing things from above. But this is government. This is the people in power. They're assessing things now from above, and they're ready to pounce. And I do believe, obviously, for a lot of you watching this video, it would clearly, to me, be about a lot of the reset and the agenda that's coming out. But they're actually like hovering and kind of assessing the situation. And it's almost, you know what it sounds like to me? It's almost like they're looking for the weak. So they're looking to target the weak. And you think about it, if you think about anything in the wild, like lions and that, they always go for the weaker animal. If they're sort of looking for food, they'll always hone in on the one that's the slowest or the weakest or the smallest. So this is kind of what I'm getting now, is that they're assessing things from above, and it's like they're going to now hone in and target the weak people. So this is what I'm really getting today, and I'm getting that really strongly, is that they're gonna focus a lot on those really it's not really the vulnerable. I wouldn't say it's so much the vulnerable. I mean, they always push that narrative, don't they? But this is about, they know, and I've said this before, they know who will comply. So this is what they're really looking, they want to feed these things to the people who comply. Now, I think we all know that hopefully with Elon Musk buying Twitter, there'll be some changes. But when it comes to the algorithms of the information and the media and these kind of things, they're only fed one story. They don't get, there's no debates, there's no arguments, there's no two sides to this kind of equation. That just doesn't come out. And we know that's sort of all sitting over here. So I feel like they're going to really focus their campaigns, the things they're trying to roll out, they're really going to try and focus this on the people who are complying, and we know who they are. They're the people who have been sort of trapped in that mass psychosis and that. But these are the people who are really, really stuck in it. And like I said, there's like, if you're watching my video, we're kind of over here, sort of getting on with our life around all of this. Then you've got this large group in the middle that is waking up, throwing their rose-coloured glasses off. They're starting to see it. The veils are lifting off. They're starting to call things out and see things for what they are. But then you've got this group over here. And this is the one that the people in power are starting to focus on, because they really need to hang on to these people and keep them in that vibration, which is, we could say it's sort of like a lower vibration, because they're not seeing a lot of things, because they're only living in their very basic kind of senses and seeing what's put in front of them. So whatever they're fed in the narrative is what they will believe. So that they know that they have to hang on to this kind of last kind of group. And look, I said that before, that some people will never wake up, and I think we can pretty much say that's the group they're going to be focusing on. But this is what I'm kind of getting. So they're going to start, and I think I know I mean, not me. Oh, sorry. In America, you guys know, I think during the whole Trump Biden thing, there was probably a lot of information being fed on Facebook, social media to people's channels and their pages and their feeds to kind of direct their thoughts. Now, whether that is subliminally or whether it is done intentionally, which is a high probability that it has been, that's just an example of what I'm saying of how they're still going to keep feeding these people because they still need to keep an amount of the population under control because they do not have control of the whole population, and that's become more and more obvious as we're going along. So that's what I'm definitely getting today. They're sort of hovering, they're assessing, but they're still going to start to really hit hard to these people who are in that vibration of their narrative. That they have to keep, you could almost say like a third of the population, because we've probably got a third of the population still asleep in a coma. We've got a third that's waking up, and we've got maybe a third, maybe not a third, but it'd be nice to think it's a third that are already awake. So we've got this these divisions still in society, but they have to keep rolling out their agenda. So it's very important that they feed them the information to keep them there, because they don't want any more people waking up. And this is what I say all the time. They don't want people waking up because it causes pushback, and they don't want the pushback. They want things to roll out now. They feel like they've got the perfect excuse to roll everything out, and everyone has to trust government and trust the people that are in power because they always tell the truth. And as we know, over the last 2 years, that has been proven to be completely almost incorrect in every avenue. If we look at Fauci, he changes his story every 5 minutes. Boris Johnson had a few stuff-ups over there and nearly gave the game away, I would say, when he had his little parties. And, there's all this stuff that's been going on. Trudeau in Canada, why would you just touch people's bank accounts and shut people down if you didn't have something to hide? Like, that's obvious to people. Come on. We know this is happening. We know people have to be seeing it. We can't be the only people who are seeing this. So that's why I'm getting there's that extra portion of the population now that's seeing what's going on, because suddenly all our finances are changing. We're all being charged more for everything because what? Because Russia-Ukraine went to war. None of this is even adding up to people. So that's what I'm definitely getting today. So the people that are in power are still trying to hang on to that group that they've got that are complying. So that's very strong. They're going to start directing them the information, the messages, because they have to hold them there. They have to hold them in that position because there's too much awakening going on. I'll see what else we get today. Oh. Yesterday I talked about people throwing hurdles out of their way. So the visual I was given was that this was the people that are still waking, were throwing hurdles off the track, and they were running straight, and they didn't want to jump over any more hurdles and jump through hoops for anybody else anymore. They've had enough. And I'm still getting that today, but the hurdles have all been thrown. So when you think about that, it just allows that freedom feeling, that freedom. Like if you think if there's no obstacles in your path, it's a straight run, and it's a feeling of freedom because you can just move, you can go. It's like all the obstacles are taken out of your path and you're allowed to feel free. So people are starting to feel freer, they're starting to feel stronger, they're starting to feel more alive, they're starting to connect back with their old life patterns, and that's connecting with people again too. So people are liking it. People are wanting it. They don't want to, people are putting their hands over their ears and going, no, 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 no. If someone mentions a variant or a new virus, everyone's like, no, 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 no. People don't want it. They don't want to go back to the 2 years that we've had. So this is why it's causing people to see things now. I'm definitely getting that the path is really clearing for them. Their path is becoming clearer and clearer because they're getting more upright. They're not hidden away anymore and worried and scared and full of fear. They're starting to find their strength now. So this is what we have to remember. Like, we're over here, if you're watching my video, we're over here watching all this happen. And these people are now clearing their path. They're starting to stand upright. And if you think of someone getting to the end of a race or the end of the line, they always push their chest out. So, if you're in a 100-meter dash, you're going to really push your chest out because you want to beat that person by 1/10 of a second. So this is what I'm getting. Their chests are opening up. They're expanding. They're starting to see things very differently. And I'm definitely getting that today. Once they removed those obstacles, they were able to start to run forward, and their body language came up, and that they felt stronger, and their breathing got better. And this is what I'm saying. These people are waking up. You have to see it. You have to know, and this is for you guys out there, that you guys aren't alone in this anymore, that we're not this ostracized group that's been pushed aside in society. There's this other group that's going, hang on a minute, I lost my job, and now they're saying that mandates are like illegal, and now I've been injured, and how did this all happen? And now they want to inject our children? Like, seriously, this is what people are starting to think. They're getting sort of frightened, but frightened in a good way, because like I said yesterday, it's that shell shock. It wakes you up, because when you see it, it's like shocking to you. So I'm definitely getting that today for those that are still waking up. I mean, you might be watching my video and feel like you're waking up, and that's great. Keep moving forward. I always talk about us chatting together on here, and I love that because we're all supporting each other and interacting, and it's crucial moving forward that we all support each other and group together. That's how we regain our strength. I'll just see what else comes through today. Now they're giving me the powers that be. Now they're showing me that the powers that be, and this is what they're saying to me, is you have to take a risk. So in life, sometimes you have to take risks. And I know that can be scary. And if you're watching my video, I know that we've all taken some really big risks. And I know that we've fought back. We've lost friends. We've lost family. We've gone to protest marches. We've lost our jobs. Some people, you might have even lost a business. So we've had to take these risks to be true to ourselves. But they're saying that the powers that be are now taking charge of all that. The decisions that you've made have been the right decisions for you moving forward. So this is about being led on your path down that stream to where you're meant to be going. Now, what I talk about a lot is if you fight back against these things, and as in resist them, you start to get pain in your body, because what happens is your body's telling you doesn't feel right, it's not what I want to do. But if you stay stuck in that, your body will start to feel resistance. So it's very important that you listen to what your body and the sensations that you're kind of feeling in your body, and you keep staying on your path and true to yourself. And that's about having that voice and moving along the path that you feel is right for you, not what is right for the masses or for other people. And this is where they're saying those powers that be are sorting everything else out, because we've let go of that resistance. There were times where we were really pushing against all that, but then we had to get to a point where we had to let it all go. And that did mean probably losing friends, closing ourselves off for a while and being a bit reclusive. And and that was really so we could kind of, oh, sorry, my throat. Sorry, you guys. Oh my goodness. I often, gosh, sorry. I often talk about how we've been very jammed up in the throats. So if you're watching this video, it feels like we have not had a voice for a very long time. And it's almost like we've been choked. And that's the energy I'm definitely getting today. So you've got to really work on and find those ways to release that and get those things out, because it still feels to me like a lot of people are feeling like they're still, it's exhausting. They're just choked up in what they want to say. It's like we want to put our hands on their hips and then we want to walk up to those leaders and parliamentary people and just tell them off and tell them to F off, and how dare they interfere with all our lives. And this is what I'm getting about the throat. Our throat is I always talk about it's like the chimney. It's like the things that flow out of our house. You know, the smoke comes out of the house. Well, that's what our throats are like. That's where the information, that's where the things that we're thinking and feeling can come out sometimes. And sometimes we need to get those out in words and share them with other people. That's why I love that you guys talk to me on my channel. You know, that's a place that we can all come together. I love that you guys chat, and I love that you're there for me, and hopefully I'm there for you. But it allows us to have our voices heard with people who understand us, and it's a safe place to do that. We're not going to get attacked for, you know, and there's many other platforms as well. I'm not just saying my channel, but we're not going to get attacked for speaking our truths, because I feel still, and what I'm getting in my throat today is that a lot of you are still jammed up, and it feels like we've suppressed a lot of it could be emotions as well connected to that, but it's definitely our voices. It feels like we're not allowed to speak about our truths, and even still, and I know you guys, I know in Canada or anywhere like that, when you speak your truth, people still shut down, and they still won't listen to you, and they still think it's conspiracy theories. A lot of people, they can't get the bigger picture. So it's still like you can't actually talk about it, but you still got to listen to other people talk about their perspective. And that's something that we've had to really experience as well, is being very humble and not really venting like the things that we're really thinking. We have had to suppress a lot of our sort of feelings, pains, hurts as well. And that's why I'm getting that jammed up throat. So it's very important that you find ways to release that. You could actually write things down on paper and burn them, or put them in the freezer is another way if you've had people that have been quite nasty to you. And one technique I know is you put their name on paper and you put it in the freezer, and that usually removes them out of your life. It doesn't bring harm to them, but it just manages in your mind, and that's why the vibration changes, because in your mind you've shifted, you've put them somewhere else, and it sort of leaves them stuck where you left them. And burning is certainly, if you've got a fire drum or something like that, or a fireplace in winter over there where a lot of you guys live, write things on paper and just burn them. You know, you could write anything on there, anything that's making you feel really like you haven't got a voice. Write some of those things down and get them out of your head and get them out of your body. If you've got someone that you can talk to, that would be brilliant. That's of like kind, go and have a coffee and just talk about all these things. We really need to be working these things out of our body, you know, and that's why I do a lot of talking about living in the now and how to focus your thoughts. Because suppressing and suppressing and suppressing is very toxic to your own body. So that's why it's good to do that bit of meditation. That's why it's good to do exercise. Exercise gets a lot of those sort of pent-up emotions out as well. There's so many things you can do. Look, mine is my dogs as well, and gardening. I've got a few passions. My dogs, you know, as anyone knows who's got a pet of any sort, they just bring something into your life that, it's just so totally different to experience, because there's nothing like the love of animals. Animals have a great energy, and they don't resent you. They don't harbor any sort of emotions from the past. Well, they can have trauma, but they are in the now with you. So that's something that's really great too. You might have other things. Let me know down below if you've got some suggestions that we can all do. But these are just some tools that you can do to really help this jammed up throat, because I feel like a lot of you are still feeling very jammed up in your throats. And look, I get it. Gosh, I'm sitting here. I think I'm taking this on for everybody, but there's definitely still, despite that we've moved on, there is still a lot of things that we haven't been able to say. I'll just see if there's any... Oh, gosh, I don't know if I can talk anymore. Gosh, we all must be really jammed up. I'll just see if there's any last messages today, if I can get them out. Oh, okay, so this is for you guys out there. We've ridden through the storm. Now, I remember the other week I was talking about the doors sort of down to the attic, and I think someone said it was in the Wizard of Oz. You go into the cellar or the basement and you protect yourself from the storm. And then what happens is you eventually, when the storm passes over, you open those doors and you come outside, and sometimes the sun's shining, the birds are flying again, And this is just the image that they're giving me. And there's this, after a storm, there's like a sense of calm as well, but there's also like a destructive energy because it's left in its path devastation and, like I said, a lot of destruction. So it's almost to me like now we've got this job of picking through the rubble. So they're showing me that we're kind of like lifting up pieces of tin, and we're lifting up bits of timber, and we're finding people, and we're reaching in and we're pulling them out, and people are still alive. You know, there's people who are still alive. They might be damaged, or they might be hurt, or they might be injured. And this is around the virus. But this is what they're showing me, that we're opening, you know, those doors, and we're coming out now, and we're finding all this kind of destruction, and we're actually seeing that now, but we're still helping to pull people out of that mess. So we've weathered the storm. So if you're watching my video, you have weathered the storm. And that's why I always talk about taking care of yourself. And now we're kind of seeing that aftermath. And I said this the other day as well, because this has been going for like 2.5 years, and now things are rising to that surface. So we're starting to see the aftermath of the damage and the destruction that's been done. These were trial jabs, and we know that there wasn't enough data around all this, but this is coming out now, and people are starting to find their voice now, and people are speaking up now, and people are finding that things are happening to them. An example here is my husband and I were talking yesterday about how many people are coughing. People are coughing everywhere. They're just coughing, and they keep saying, my husband like deals with the public, and they keep saying, oh, it's not COVID though, it's not COVID, I just got a cough. Like, they're so paranoid, but suddenly it's like you can almost feel that their immune systems are dropping. And a lot of people, I talked to another person yesterday who had some sort of mystery illness, and the doctors can't get to the bottom of it, and he's having all sorts of problems. He was coughing his lungs out while he was talking to me, and he had neurological problems. He said, I don't know what's wrong with me. And, I mean, you still can't have your voice. See, that's an example. Me yesterday, I couldn't say, now tell me, did you have the jab, or have you had the booster? What have you had? But and you can't say, go and get your vitamin D, your C, your zinc. You can't say that. So it's all trapped in here. But this is what I'm saying about that aftermath now. We're going to start seeing it. They might not be seeing it clearly, but you can't tell me that people aren't piecing something together. There's even ads here on shingles. My neighbour recently had shingles. Other people I know have had shingles. And you kind of go, well, have they all had, you know? So these are the questions that, you know, but again, we can't say much. It's like telling them, there's no point telling them, because are they ever going to believe it? They have to figure it out for themselves. So this is kind of what the guides are saying today, that this is that aftermath of the storm. So again, you've still got to protect yourself in that. You can go and you can help people out of the rubble, and you can move debris, and you can help tidy up and, you know, clear the streets and clean things away. But you still got to protect yourself. Like if you go to clean up something after a floods or fire, or, you know, it's any sort of destructive process that's happened, you would always wear gloves. Sometimes you'd wear a mask. Sounds funny, doesn't it? But, you know, you're going to protect yourself, because you got sewerage. If you got a flood, you've got a lot of sewerage and things that have all sort of contaminated things as well. So this is what I'm saying about, you've still got to put your, like, in your mind, your gloves and things on, and your safety mask or your helmet, and protect yourself as well in these situations. So look, I'm going to leave you with that today, because I think we've got to just really get that visual that we've opened those sort of cellar doors, or the wooden doors that take you back to the outside. I know in America you have those, and they're like the basement, and you come out into that sunshine, and now you're like the aid and the support that's coming to help and to sort of probably, I would say, change things for the better. So that's what I'm getting today. It's the aftermath of the storm, and that's what I'm going to leave you with today, that we're now coming out, and we're giving support, lending a hand, protecting ourselves as well, but we're also like there to make a difference is probably the words that I'm looking for. So look, thanks for watching today. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't hit the bell notification, and that lets you know when I pop up. Please hit the like buttons, that always helps. Please comment. I love hearing from you guys. You know that I do, and I always try to reply. If I've missed your comment, I'm sorry. I do go back and check, but sometimes I might have missed one, and I apologize if I have, because I would not do it intentionally. And look, please have a wonderful day. Stay strong, everybody, and keep going. We're doing really well, but we've just got to work on getting those things that are jammed up in our throat and getting them out of our body, because it becomes too toxic to keep burying them down. So look, I'm going to say goodbye for today. Bye from Australia, and have a super day, everybody. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.